storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities.
Okie dokie. I'm a little late tonight. Usually I'm up by like 9. I had a couple extra things I had to do before I hopped on. That's all good. I hope everyone's having a beautiful night.
so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
I hope that my audio is okay as well. I know I have an issue with that sometimes. It sounds okay. Alrighty. I'm telling you, I was so close to not popping on. I had a kind of exhausting day, to be honest. I was messing with some settings earlier on OBS and on the dashboard and everything, and it made me so tired. It gave me such a headache. Oh boy. Everything seems to be okay now. Let's push this up just a tad bit. I cannot wait to get this canvas finished. I'm so over it. Get this finished and then start on something new. I think I'm going to do something really small, to be honest. Because, I've been doing such large projects that I'm just over the really, really large ones, to be honest. Normally, that's what I always reach for when I see ones that I like. I try to get if I have the option to pick the size, I always go for the bigger size. And if I don't, I kind of just try to stick to the bigger ones. I just feel like you get more out of what you're paying for them. Because anybody who diamond paints knows that they're not cheap. So I kind of feel like sometimes it's best to just get the bigger ones, but I have been so tired of these big projects that I can't do it. So I definitely think I'm gonna try to dig in my diamond painting closet and figure out exactly what I have as far as smaller canvases go, because I don't think I can handle another really big project. My last 6 projects are all huge. They were all pretty big. So, like I said, I'm kind of just over the really big ones. It'd be nice to switch it up and do something nice and small. I was kind of thinking it might be better to pull this down just a little, because it's really high up on the board. One side is held by clips, so that side might just be a little bit harder for me to pull down. Just bear with me a second. I'm going to plug this real fast. We have kittens, so I have to kind of wrap my cords around things, because if I don't, they will chew them and I will have a heart attack. So I'm going to pull this down just a bit. That way I don't have to reach so far to get where I'm at. I guess if that makes sense. So I'm going to just redo this really fast. That's all. That way I can kind of make it just a little bit easier on myself. Okay. Let's pull you up. Make sure we're even here. lovely being able to get your nails done. At least I like it. I like being able to experience it. But I must say, it is quite the pain in the neck to do certain things that I was able to do like with ease before. It's just a bit harder now than what it was before. Okay, let's pull you. These magnets are scary. They're the best, honestly, the best ones I've used yet. But they're really strong, and if you let the two of them like collide, you're in trouble. For sure. They can break. There's like a warning on the on your packaging when you buy them. So like pull them apart a certain way. It's ridiculous. So I have to be really careful. You can really pinch yourself too and hurt yourself. So we're gonna fold this up, roll it up just a little, because it's huge. I mean, this is a pretty big canvas. It doesn't really look like that because it's only one little area that you see, but it's pretty big. And I'm almost finished. Like I said, I'm over it. I can't. I need to definitely find me something smaller to work on right after this one, because like I said, I normally love the bigger canvases and the bigger projects. It takes longer and you feel better at the end of a nice big one after all that hard work. But when you're just consistently doing large projects, it gets very tiring. And you can definitely get burnout from it. And I think that's where I'm at right now. Having a little bit of burnout. Okay, I think this is a little better. That is better. Turn this back on. And start back up again. Before I had to kind of have it even, because the issue that I was having was the canvas is so long sideways, so with the light board only being but so big, this is the biggest they come in, the side is hard to do if it's not on the light board. Like, hello Jenny, how are you? Long time no see. How is your what are those, tacky stuff? I think it's called. It's like the dots, glue dots, right? That you do. Hello Gina. Welcome in. How are you? I am curious. I know Jenny, I met you over on YouTube. Are you from the same place, Gina? Oh, okay. She has the same exact name over on YouTube. Right. You are right. The Uncrafty Crafter. Oh, nice, Gina, nice. Do you craft? Do you do art? Do you game? Or you just like watching? That's how I started. I came over from Mrs. Coffee. I think everybody here knows her as the caffeinated doodler. Okay, so oh, Jenny, okay, yes, I am familiar. I've seen you a lot. That's probably why I mixed the two up. I do see you a lot over in her stream, and I believe I do see you in Casual Geeks stream as well. if I'm correct. I've seen you quite a few times. Do you diamond paint? Well, obviously, yeah, you diamond paint as well. It's in your name. What are you currently working on? Anything specific or? I am finished with this color. Rebirth awaits. I don't know if I'm familiar with that one. I have been trying to get my hands on that Willy Wonka one. I definitely think that is a great canvas. How do you like it? Do you enjoy? Is it enjoyable? Is it a good one? That's a pretty decent size one, that Willy Wonka. And yeah, I can't, like, you know, normally my thing is like, everybody who diamond paints knows that they're not cheap. You know what I mean? They're definitely a nice investment. And I kind of just have like this feeling like, well, you kind of want to get everything out of your dollar. You know what I mean? But I think I'm getting so much burnout at this point because every canvas that I've done for like the last year has been so big, and I just can't. I can't. Oh, that's good. That's good. I definitely, like I said, Jenny, I want to get a hold of that one in the worst way. In the worst way. And so then you're making good progress then, for sure. Okay, yeah, I think I know the one that you're talking about now, Gina. I think that was the one that I was contemplating on doing for Nyx's Notions event. Hi, caffeinated dealer. How are you? How are the kiddos? How's the fam? I am unfamiliar on how to say that. C-Trog-J? Hello, welcome in. Queen Butterfly Fairy, that's a beautiful name. And thank you so much. I got this from, I gotta think about that. It's a shop that's on Etsy. What is the name of that place? I love this pen too. I have a lot from them. I just have to think about the name. Caffeinated Doodler, I'm doing alright. I'm a little tired, to be honest. I didn't think that I was going to come up tonight, but I was like, I haven't been up in a while because I had my little sister up from down south, which kind of really tired me out. I'm not really used to having younger kids in the house, and then all the pets and stuff. So I didn't come up for like a week, so I kind of have to get that situated. And I'm glad. I'm glad that the family's good. I think that's one of the best parts about coming into your streams is hearing about the family. Is that meant to say zone of a kind? One of a kind. Hi. Welcome in. Got it, Katie. I will try to remember that. Welcome in. Jenny just diamond paints. Yes, we were. 10 minutes left to go. Jenny, I have to agree. Like I said before, I came over here from Caffeinated Doodler. I watched a lot of her videos and stuff on YouTube. And she had mentioned one day, I got so upset. I'm like, oh, she's not really doing many videos anymore. And then one of the videos that I watched, she said that she was over here on this platform. And I was like, I don't really do social media and stuff like that. I try to stay away from it, both me and my husband. And when she mentioned this platform, I came over and I started watching her over here, and I just enjoyed being over here more than being over there because there's not so much interaction and things like that, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's not really much to do other than just talk and chat, I guess, so to speak. And over here, there's so many different things that you can do to kind of interact with, your live and everyone in it. And I enjoyed it more over here. So one day I talked to my husband. I said, hey, do you think I would be good at this? I have really bad nerves and bad anxiety. So I never thought personally that I would have the guts to do it. But I just kind of got up here, did it, and I couldn't believe the fact that there are so many loving and kind people in the community. It's ridiculous. Like, everybody is so supportive of one another, so kind, and I think it's just a great place to be. I really do. And I will definitely try to remember to call you one. Not a problem. Caffeinated doodler, yeah, I think so, because a lot of people that I've spoken to about the transition, because there's a lot of people that, had come over just to really support you, and now, they're finding new people and finding new creatives, and a lot of the people that come from the YouTube world, they say the same thing. It's the same exact reaction. They feel like it's just overall a better vibe and a better experience over here than what they felt over there. I mean, I still love my YouTube people, you know what I mean? Nothing against YouTube at all. It just seems like it's more comfortable over here than it is over there. Oh, and the pen is from Norse Alchemist. That's it. I had to think about it. I have so many pens, I can't even remember half of where they come from, to be honest. Yeah, Jenny, absolutely. There is so many. See, that was the thing with me is anytime I've heard of Twitch, I've always said, isn't that like a gaming, kind of thing? And when I came over, I found that wasn't the case. That was definitely not the case. There's so many different things that are done over here, and I think it's also easier in a sense to search, and I think it's also better that everybody here is live, you know what I mean? On YouTube, it's playbacks, you know what I mean? So you can't really get the chance to get to know the person as much over there as you can over here. One, yeah. I'm one of the coffee beans as well. I've been for quite some time. As I said, I came over from the YouTube world, and she's great. Really, she is. Some of her stories are wonderful. She's a great person. She really, really is. I enjoy watching her when she's up. When I can manage to, because, the times I can't. Most of the time, I am knocked out at that time. That's why I'm up late. Yes, there is. Yep. And that's usually the section that I go to. Sometimes you'll see me on art. Sometimes I can go on certain certain games that I'm interested in to see if I can find new people. It's always nice to reach out and find new people for sure. I have always said, I'm extremely supportive. I'm not one of, those people that are like, oh no, if you stream, don't say that. Some people don't like that. Me, I love being supportive. Hey, if you stream, by all means, share. Yeah, Gina, I agree. I definitely agree, because if you have questions, you definitely want someone to answer them for you, as opposed to putting a comment and waiting weeks to get a response. You get a response right away. Jenny, I agree. Absolutely, yeah. Either they have mods or they do it themselves. It's more drama free over here, I believe, as well. I agree with that. One, I have been diamond painting for about 4 years now. I've been crafting probably like 7, doing a lot of different things, but diamond painting altogether just about 4 years. Queen Butterfly Fairy, I figured. I don't normally have this many people. Normally I'm lucky if I see like 5 people and it's pretty chill and calm and relaxed. But when I was able to raid into Mrs. Coffee's live the other day, I figured that most of you had come over here from hers. Well, Caffeinated Duder, I can understand why you would feel that way for sure, because I don't think majority of the people, who found their way over to YouTube would have even thought to come over this way unless you mentioned it. You know what I mean? So you were able to help a lot of people branch off into something that they also enjoy, that they may have never even thought to do unless you mentioned it. Sometimes, like I said, I've heard of Twitch before, but I could have sworn that it was just gaming. I never knew that it was all this stuff. Jenny, yes. I would have to say yes to that. I am a huge fan of DAC. I think that they just have an overall better array of things than most places. Now, I definitely love Craftably. There's another company that I like. Made with Diamonds, I think. That's the company that I had gotten the mermaid that I showed earlier that Mrs. Coffee said that she liked. It was a custom. I guess it was an image that my godmother had found and got it in a custom canvas because she knows that I like mermaids. They're really good. I like Distracted by Diamonds, which is where this is from, but I've noticed with them, unfortunately, it seems like they have a lot of problematic drills. And I contacted her. I said, hey, this is what I have so far. That's a lot. I mean, in my opinion, that's an excessive amount. And it got so to the point where I was afraid that if I kept putting the trash up, that I was going to run out of drills. You know what I mean? So I started like sticking drills on that I knew were no good, but maybe you couldn't notice, because I didn't want to have to source the drills myself. And when I contacted her, she was like, oh, well, the lot number changed. So there's nothing that I can really do. And I was like, well, you can send them anyway, and then whichever ones that I feel are not close enough and would be noticeable, I just won't use. You know what I'm saying? And she kind of was just like not really wanting to do that. So she gave me like a bit of a refund and sent me like a couple of the colors, which I was like, what can I really do? I'm not going to complain. So that's really my only problem. No, this is a NYX's Notions tray. So it's a seller on Etsy. They do That is a big thing. A lot of people think that they're Muni-Made trays because they do look very similar. I think that was a big thing that was going on where people were saying that they look too similar, but it's from NYX's Notions. I have a few Dreamer designs that I haven't gotten to yet. I have probably like 8 craftablies that my husband bought me for my birthday. I did one craftably. It was a very small one a while back, and that was really fun to do. But the majority of the canvases that I do have are all DAC. I probably have like maybe 80 or 90 DACs, and then a couple of like the others. Shell Anderson, welcome in. How are you? Yeah, I think that that was the big thing, like I said, was that a lot of people were saying that they looked like Muni-Maids, which personally me, I think they do too, because they do have the really high sides, and they got the writing on the side, and, you know, they do look very similar. Yeah, I really do like Craftably, I have to be honest. I think that their drills are wonderful. I think that the stick on the canvas is great. I think the rendering is awesome. I don't have any complaints. When I worked on the really small piece, it was drills, like regular drills, and then there was some crystals throughout, and I think a few ABs, and it was a round, and it was really nice to work on. Oh yeah, I hear that. That reminds me, I think my sister is getting ready to be out of school. Yeah, Jenny, I love her trays. I do. I have to be honest. I have a bunch of these ones, and then before these, I was using the cat-proof ones, so the ones with like the lids on it, and I really liked those as well. I'm big on the bigger trays. I don't really like smaller trays because, as I said, most of my canvases, which I'm starting to believe is a big mistake, I binge purchased all huge canvases. So when I go to look for something small to kind of take a breather and take a break, I don't have many. Most of them are all huge. So I definitely like the bigger trays. I'm not a fan of the smaller ones. I know NYX's Notions, she has all different sizes. She has like the Gremlin. She has the ones that are like these. I think they're called submarines. These ones are venti, which is the ones that I prefer. Then she's got like P-Rose, which are really small for like confetti. I'm not a fan of those. When you go from having the kids in school for so long and then boom, the school year ends, isn't that fun? Mama Misha, is that how you say it? I hope that's how you say it. Welcome in. How are you? How was your night? Jenny, the white ones from Amazon, actually, I am, are not too bad. I'm pretty okay with those. Like I said, I just don't like, the really small ones. Like the ones that come with the canvases, I definitely don't like. I feel like they're too small. You can't even really fit much of anything in those. But the bigger ones, I think those are really good to use, to be honest. I do. As long as they're bigger, I like them. Mithy Moo 82. I hope that I'm saying that right. Welcome in. How was your night? Oh yeah, the Bella Art de Nicole's, those are really good too, I've heard. I don't have any, I don't own any. I was definitely thinking about getting some because I've heard a lot about them. So I definitely want to try them. Yes, I know exactly the one you're talking about. Like the ones with like the smaller light pads, right? Because I had gotten a set like that. I got like a, what was that? Like a, what are they, an A4, I think they're called? The real small ones? I'm not sure. And they come with like the big white trays. Mithy, got it. Got it. Yeah, my day's alright. I'm a little tired, to be honest. I didn't think I was gonna go up tonight, but I was explaining before that, I had my sister come down and visit last minute. This was totally last minute. They called me like 8 hours before they were leaving for, I think it was like a 19-hour drive or something like that. And they initially had plans, I guess, to go to my little brother's house, but my little brother's girlfriend has finals or something like that. So they called me like right before they were gonna leave, like, oh, well, could she come stay with you? And I was like, well, you know, you don't have to ask me that. She can always come to my house. You know, my door's always open. But I would have preferred for somebody to tell me sooner so that I could have planned that. You know what I mean? She's a super picky eater. Like, I had to go to the grocery store with a list and get specific things because she wouldn't eat if not. Like, it was really stressful. So I wasn't up for like a week because of it, because it just completely messed with my anxiety and my nerves. Like, I have really, really bad nerves. And it just like ruined my whole mood, like to want to do anything. I didn't want to clean, I didn't want to talk, I didn't want to chat. Like, I kind of just slept and tried to, you know, kick that shitty feeling. You know what I mean? I have to check that one out. I've never heard of the Dynamite Diamond Shop. And is that on Etsy? An Etsy shop? She is 14. Now, mind you, you know, I've gone through this a bunch with the normal people that are on my streams, and correct me if I'm incorrect. Today's, you know, day and age, today's era of children are just very different from like back in the day. I mean, like 80s and up, maybe even 70s and up. They are not as kind, I guess, so to speak, as Diamond Queen 2020. Thank you for the raid. Jeez, things are getting crazy in here. Welcome in, raiders. I am CEDRINA'S Diamonds. I diamond paint on my channel. I'm new here. I have been streaming here on Twitch for maybe a month or so. I've done maybe 11 or 12 streams, so I'm super, super new, so bear with me. Jersey Girl Princess 8. Welcome in, welcome in. Mary Ann 63. Hello, hello. Let me catch up. But everybody, welcome in. Again, I'm new here on Twitch. I diamond paint. I don't do anything else. I know that I've been talking about maybe doing game night. I'm not really sure. I have to just figure out all the quirks with that. So I may start that soon, but for now, all that I do is diamond paint mainly. Wow, this chat is going so fast. Diamond Queen 2020. So what were you doing? I'd love to know. Did everybody have a good time over on stream? And Diamond Queen 2020, I hope I said thank you for the raid. I'm pretty sure that I did, but I just want to make sure. I'm 89 baby, so I'm still on the end of the 80s. Well, that's what I mean. So when I'm saying by like today's generation, I mean like the kids that were born like 2000 and up, or even later. You know what I'm saying? Like early mid 2000s, and she's 14 years old, but she acts like she's 40. And what I mean by that is her mouth is horrific. It really is. And I don't want to be the agitating sister that's like, you know, don't do this and don't do that, and you shouldn't talk like this and you shouldn't talk like that. And, you know, I found out, I was the last one to find out. Now, that kind of pissed me off, but that's just because, you know, I mainly raised her growing up. So I'm usually the one that stays in her ass about everything. Everybody else found out before me, but she's got a boyfriend. Now, if her father's okay with that, there's nothing that I can say, unfortunately. I am not her mom, I'm her sister. And, you know, I can only tell her that I want the best for her. Well, I guess, you know, I had a conversation with her dad, and I'm like, you know, how do you feel about the boy? Because he's 16, you know, he's older than she is, and, you know, he may be a little more mature than she is, and this is her very first boyfriend. Right, yeah, that's how I feel, Caffeinated Doodler, that's how I feel. At 14, that's exactly what I said. And, you know, her father saying he seems to be okay with it. So, there's nothing I can really say. But the thing that irritated me a little bit, he's not so nice to her. So she was here, and they were holding a conversation on the phone, you know, and now in my craft space, I have a spare bed. Right? So if I have anybody that spends the night, that's where they'll stay. And she was sitting on the bed behind me while I was sitting at the desk, and I just so happened to hear the conversation. I mean, I can't help but hear the conversation, right? And he goes, "Oh, you know, bitch, kill yourself," or something along the lines of that, right? And I turned my head real fast, like, "Excuse me?" Like, number one, did you just call her bitch? And number two, what did you just say, little boy? And I guess she turns around to him and she goes, oh, I hate you, or something like that. I hate you, or something. And I was like, okay, so are they joking right now? Like, is this how the new generation jokes? I mean, because me, if somebody calls me somebody calls me a bitch, I'm not gonna be laughing. I don't find that funny. And I don't find people telling other people something like that, because there's a lot of people out here that struggle with mental illness, including me. So I don't find that funny. And, you know, I held a conversation with her. I let her hang up with the boyfriend because I didn't want to embarrass her, so to speak. So I'm like, you know, hey, do me a favor and, like, hang up, you know, for a second, because I got to have a serious talk with you. Like, you know, this is not okay. Do not let boys talk to you this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't allow that. That's not okay. You know, I understand this is like your first boyfriend, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not too thrilled about it, but your father's fine with it, and that's your father. And he raises you, not me. But that isn't cool. Like, you don't have to allow that to be the case, okay? And, you know, if that bothers you, then you set boundaries, and you say, like, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, no, that's how we all joke with each other. That, you know, we say that to each other in school, and we do this, and I'm just like, what? So, yeah, I feel the same way. I feel that boy has to go too. I don't think that he's really a good influence on her. Another thing that kind of blew my mind is, she's super gazed that she's got a boyfriend. She's 14. I think she should be worried about her books and school. But, she's like, oh, I love him. And I'm like, sweetheart, you don't even know what the definition of love is. If you could sit here and give me the definition of love, then we'll talk. And everybody that is on her end, right, knows of this boy. So we all know, her friends know, she brags about him all the time, right? But nobody on this boy's end knows that she even exists. So his family doesn't know, his friends don't know about her, like he doesn't talk about her, things like that. Right, I agree. Throw him away. But, so nobody knows anything about her, right? Exactly, Jenny. It's the same thing with me. My husband would never, even in the middle of a whole ass argument, would never do that. But I'm trying to explain to her, I'm like, if this boy was so into you the way that, you think you're into him, then why doesn't he brag about you the way that you brag about him? You know what I mean? Exactly. 100% red flags all the way, and obviously adults would know that, you know what I mean? They would be like, yeah, absolutely not, no, goodbye, we're not doing this, you got to go. But because she doesn't know any better, and no one is telling her these things, you know what I'm saying? No one is telling her, hey, don't allow this, don't allow that, she's allowing everything. You know what I mean? Hell no, the B word needs to go, and the boyfriend needs to get talking, and she shouldn't. Shadow sound like he doesn't. Exactly, Gina. I agree. 100%. Right. Yep. If she has to be a secret, then I don't understand why you're even together. You know what I'm saying? Mine don't talk to me like that either, and he knows it. Queen Butterfly. Exactly. Like I said, the older generation, that's what I mean. The older generation, things were very, very different. The way that she even talks to adults, if I even dared talk to my parents like that, I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you all today. They would have kicked my ass into a whole nother realm. Things just didn't fly the way that they do today. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not her parent, I'm her sister, and it seems like every time I go to talk to her and say, hey, I just want the best for you, and this isn't really a good situation, and you shouldn't be doing this, and, don't talk like that, it's not nice, or it doesn't make you look like a young lady, it makes you look nasty and trashy. She thinks that I'm just trying to be this irritating sister, and I don't know any better, I haven't been there, done that, lived that life, and done settled down. You know what I'm saying? And what could you really say to that? How old is the boy? Where is he? Exactly. That's kind of how I got. That's how I got. So this is the good part. I guess it's there's really no good part. Screw that. Scratch that. There's no good part out of any of it. But he lives in a whole nother country. I think he lives in Canada. So she'll never, I don't think, even get the chance to meet this boy in person. But when I had met the boy, because she had showed me, on video. So they do talk on video. It's not at first I'm like, is this man, a 40-year-old man in his basement, being a creep? You know what I mean? And that was my first go-to. This just seems so weird, I don't know, it just seems off, I think she met the boy via a friend, who was playing an online game or something like that, ended up not being friends with the girl anymore. She was friends with the girl forever, They're no longer friends anymore because I guess she was trying to flirt with the boy or something along the lines of that. A whole crazy mess. So when I had met the boy on the video, he does not look 16. I mean, really. He's got a really, really deep voice to be 16. Like, he's got a face full of hair. Like, he just does not look 16. And I stated that to her father. I said, have you seen the boy? Have you looked at the video? Like, did you take the time to really look? Because sometimes when a kid is trying to show a parent something, it's like, yeah, whatever, and they kind of just swat away, like, I want nothing to do with this, I don't really care what you're doing on your phone. Have you really looked at the boy? You know what I mean? Jersey girl, I agree. I agree. I think the trouble that could definitely come from that is that she may get tired of people telling her, like, no, or whatever, and run away, and try to run away. That's what I'm worried about. She has had issues in the past where she's done some not so good things and got, I think, in trouble quite a few times for, like, what do they call that? Like a curfew, because a lot of places, they have curfews now. So if you're not 18 and you're outside past a certain time without an adult, your parent could either be fined or arrested, depending on this scenario and the situation. And I think she's gotten in trouble like 3 or 4 times for that, because she done left the house to go to the store with a friend or something, with like her dad's card or something like that. And like, he doesn't really care much. And this is what bothers me. She tries to come to him and say, hey dad, I'm going through this because we lost our mom at a very, very young age. My sister was 8, and she didn't really understand what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of damaged her a lot, like, in her mind. You know what I'm saying? And when she tries to go to her dad and be like, hey, I'm feeling this way today, or I don't feel good, he'll ignore it. And he'll say, like, oh, that doesn't exist, and mental illness is not real, and doctors make it up to take your money. Like, it is very real. It's very, very real, especially for somebody who's going through it and who goes through it every day. That's offensive, you know what I mean? And I'm worried that one day no one's gonna listen, and she's gonna try to run off with this boy somewhere. Yep. Diamond Queen, I agree. Jenny, I agree with you as well. Yeah. Exactly. And that was the conversation that we had. We were sitting on the couch that night, and I pulled her father to a side, and I said, hey, look, I get I'm not her mom, you know what I'm saying, but, like, I'm not really feeling this kid. I don't like this. You know what I mean? This is just something I'm not really fond of. I got a weird feeling about this kid, I don't understand why everybody that's around her, even people that don't know the girl because she's screaming it from the rooftops, knows about this boy, and this boy, everybody on his end doesn't know about her. So it kind of comes off that either he's way older than what he's saying he is, right, and doesn't want to say that he's dating a child, or, as you said, it seems like she's some sort of side girl, and he's playing her like a fiddle, because she's she stated that he maybe had some sort of like a learning disability or something. It didn't really come off like that. I mean, I had learning disabilities growing up as a child, and it came off that he was very intelligent. Like, the kid plays, like, band, and seems like he's got good grades, at least that's what he's saying. But the problem with that is that she babies him because of this. So it's like, oh, I can only talk to him one time a week because, this freaks him out, or it's too much for his mental well-being, and, like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry. I think that it's a whole crock of shit, and I think that he's playing her out because she's 14 and knows no better, and she should not have no boyfriend at 14. Jersey girl, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was, oof. I was 21, I believe. It's tough, and my condolences to you. It's really tough. And then to make it so much worse, we lost our mom, and I just lost my dad at the beginning of last year. That was, they were both sudden. It wasn't something that I had time to plan for. My mom passed away due to a freak accident, and my dad passed away due to a massive heart attack. My mother was 41, and my father was 44. So, it's definitely not something that's easy to go through by any means. And, you know, people say, oh, it gets easier. I'm still waiting for that time. For it to get easier. I really am. Another country, this is starting to sound super suspicious, like humor try. Now, see, that's so crazy that you say that, because that's what my husband was saying. My husband was saying, like, you know, we're worried about, like, I don't know if this kid is gonna, like, convince her to, like, oh, well, come and meet me here, or come and meet me here, you know what I'm saying? And, God forbid, snatch her up. And that's what it is. You know what I mean? Because that's how it comes off. And I'm telling you, he doesn't look 16. I'm not crazy. I'm a whole ass adult. And I know, you know, what the average teenager looks like. And it's not him. Definitely not. And that's what I tried to tell her dad. But her dad's like, oh, I'm going to cut that off. Right away, I'm going to cut that off. That was all talk for the moment. Going to get hurt and not in a good... Yeah, Diamond Queen, that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, I agree. And that's what I was trying to convince her father. I was like, you know, this isn't good. This is not good by any means. I really think he's playing her, like something ain't right, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to stop that right away. And she heard the conversation, and this brings me back to the mouth of this generation. If I ever spoke to my parents in that manner, I would have got my ass definitely handed to me. Like, there was by no means any of that in my household. But that's what's allowed, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing I can do about it. She comes out of the bathroom and goes, why the hell are you talking about me? Stop talking about my boyfriend. It's none of your fucking business. And I was like, excuse me. This is a room full of whole adults. And he didn't say anything to her. So it's like, what do you say to a child that's not yours, right? With a parent that isn't parenting and lets them do whatever they want to do. Yeah, I agree, Jenny. I lost my dad almost 2 years ago and has money. Diamond Queen, yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't. I think the worst part about losing, like, my parents, that bothers me the most about it all, is that I get nervous because I don't have much videos of my mom. Now, I have a lot of videos of my dad because of his wife. So I get to hear his voice every now and again. If I miss him or something like that, I will kind of just, you know, rerun a video and cry a little bit, but laugh because, you know, I get to at least hear his voice. With my mom, I'm starting to forget what she sounded like. You know what I mean? And that's the scary part with me, I think. I think that's the hardest thing is, like, you would never think somebody who raised you for so many years that, you know, they're there 1 minute, gone the next, and then I sit here and I try to think real hard to myself, like, what does her voice sound like? Like, how does, you know, like, I didn't fully forget it, but sometimes I just won't be able to put my finger on what she sounded like, and it sucks. Diamond Queen, I agree. Yep. Exactly. And that's how I put it. I said, you know, this is not a joke. This is reality. And what happens if she just, this freaking guy convinces her, like, oh, yeah, come out here and be with me and have a life with me. And she runs away, and I get a phone call, God forbid, that she's nowhere to be found or something like that. And then it's like, oh, well, I told you so, and I don't want it to be that type of situation that I told you so. That's my sister. Regardless of how she acts or how, the sister that I was raising, she was into cheerleading, she had straight A's, went to school every day, she loved Barbies and pink and fairies and all this stuff. It's like I went to sleep and I woke up the next day and it was someone else's child. She's into different things, which I get, you kind of find yourself as you get older. You may not be into the same things anymore and stuff like that, but this is like a drastic change. So I'm not understanding, I'm trying to decipher whether is this something like an attention thing, or is it like, maybe whoever's around her that's influencing her. I don't know. I don't know. Because I know the sister that I knew would never, ever speak that way or act in that manner. You need to get him to watch this and you just chat. You're strangers and they all think the same. Yeah, Jenny, I agree. I totally agree. And that's another reason why I think I'm so happy that I stream now. Because, talking to my husband, that's my best friend. I'm sure most of us married women feel the same way, and married men feel the same way as well. But certain things, sometimes I want to chit-chat with somebody that doesn't know the situation and can kind of give me a bit of advice on the scenario, and just straight up, they don't have no influence on either one, and they don't know you from a can of paint. Hey, what do you think about it? And I totally agree, because I think it would open his eyes, like, look, this is a whole bunch of people that don't even know you, and they're all saying the same exact thing. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't. Yeah, I agree. We definitely would have had no teeth. None. They would have all been gone. Like I said, I don't even think I'd be sitting here talking to everybody tonight. Exactly, Jenny. Yep, exactly. And if my parents were still here, I would not dare. As an adult, I would never dare. Let alone, being a child and speaking that way. Marianne, yeah. See, that's when it gets rough, and I kind of had a little experience with my mom passing, because, I'm the oldest out of the kiddos, and, when that happens, obviously you're next of kin, so if the person doesn't have, a spouse or whatever, and, in that sense, it goes on to the child, the oldest kid. And all of that stuff kind of came on me. I was the one that, had to make the decisions and what I wanted to be done and how I wanted it done and plan everything and all that stuff, which was tough. And, I never thought to, because I stopped doing Facebook. I hate drama. It's something about, social media drama that just ticks my nerve. And being married, it isn't a good thing when you have people that are messaging you, or people that you don't want in your life trying to butt their heads, in your life and causing havoc and drama and just mixing shit around. So I kind of left that alone. But I regret to this day not saving some of those videos, you know what I mean? To kind of have to look back on. Well, Shell, see, this is the thing, is that I'm not really sure. So she lives down south. She lives in Alabama, and that whole senorio was horrible. Basically, they were staying with me at the time when I had the house that I was growing up in. I kind of had to take it over and make sure that the house was good to go and kind of pay the bills and all that stuff. So, her father had come to me and said, hey, we need a place to stay, and I let them stay with me. And one day he just up and left. They were gone for 13 hours or something like that. And I had messaged her father, like, hey, are you guys okay? Like, I haven't seen you all day. They called me like 5 hours later, her father, and was like, oh, we're in Tennessee. And I'm like, huh? You're in Tennessee? Where are you? Like, where are you going? And because of everything that was going on with my mom and going on with the house and all that crazy stuff, he just up and took her down there. And knew that because my mom didn't drive or anything like that, that she wouldn't be able to kind of do like a custody battle kind of thing. So he just up and took her. So unfortunately, because she lives so far from me, I only see her, like, you know, sorry to say it, when someone dies or when someone is dying. And the last time I saw her, she was peaches and cream. I mean, she was still into the same thing. She, you know, she wanted to hang out instead of being in her phone all day, and it was a different child. And this was when my dad passed. They had, you know, her father surprised me and my little brother with bringing her up, even though we have a different dad, because he knew that we would need her for emotional support after just losing our mom, and then, you know, coming right behind that not too long after losing our dad. So we would need the emotional support from our little sister. And so the last time I saw her was quite some time ago. So I'm not sure if the attitude thing happened at that point. Did it happen, you know, after she had left, after my dad passed, when it happened? Because it's like, she doesn't talk to me because she knows that if she tells me certain things that I don't like, I'm gonna complain about it. You know what I mean? Some things need to be, I'm trying to raise my, okay, let me catch up. I think a lot of kids are these. I agree, Jenny. I'm starting to notice the same thing. Again, I'm not really around, I have stepchildren, so, you know, but we don't really see them super often, and I don't really get the chance to really bond with them the way that I want, because they have a mom, you know, a birth mom. I love them just as if I gave birth to them, you know what I mean? But I don't want to step on toes either. I don't want their mom to feel like I'm taking them from her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really get the chance to really dig deep with them as I would with my sister. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really around kids that age. But now that I'm seeing it, and like, she's been here and she visited and she's talking with her friends and things like that, I'm starting to notice that that seems like that's how they all are. Like, the people she's around anyhow, they all joke and call each other names and say the other thing that I said before, and they seem to find that absolutely hilarious, and I don't get it. I really don't. I'm confused on it. I'm trying to raise my son with the most of the same values you raised. Some things need to be done. Jenny, I agree. I really do. See, like I said, you know, the older generation, none of us would ever. We knew better. You know, like I said, from like anything before the 2000s, like, you would never hear, you know, a child or a young kid talking to their elders like that. You know, that was like a shock, you know, if you ever heard something like that. Today, though, it seems like that's the norm. Like, you know, we moved into the new place, and there's a lot of schools in this area, so I'm like super city. And there's a lot of schools, so there's like a high school, you got a middle school, you got an elementary, so we got kind of like a little bit of everything, right? And we had gotten in an Uber the other day, my husband and I, and it just so happened to be that the Uber lady was a sub-teacher, and she's conversating with us. She seems super cool, and she's conversating. She's like, yeah, so, you know, over here at the high school over here, some kids had me pick them up at like 12 o'clock and said something about they got out early or something. And my husband and I looked at each other like, yeah, sure, right. Sure, you're right. They didn't get out early. They're skipping school, and you were the ones that helped them do it. But we all started laughing, and then she got into a conversation about the kids today, and she was saying how when she first started subbing that the kids were just very different. You know, they had respect, and they did what they were asked, and they were kind to one another. They helped one another. But she said today's day and age, like, a child will look at you and tell you to go fuck yourself, and they're like 10, and you're the teacher. So it's like, you know, what do you say to a child at that? You know, back in the day, your teacher could freaking whack you a shot, and no one could say anything about it. I mean, these were way back, you know, when. But that's the reality, you know what I mean? And it's like, even if a teacher even goes to say, like, oh, you're wrong, or reports it or something like that, it's like the teacher's blamed. And she said, you know, that's kind of how she feels. The teacher always gets blamed for it. My mama would whip yeah. I get whipped with spoons and belts and really anything that was close enough in arm's reach. Yeah, I got whacked with it. There was a couple of times where I tried my parents' chin. A couple of times. I knew very quickly that that was not gonna happen. I'll never forget. We got into some real big trouble. Real big trouble. Me and my brother were young. I mean, young. And I guess we thought it was a good idea, that it was funny, while my dad was bathing our childhood dog at the time, way in the back of the house, to call the police and hang up, right? Now, obviously, we didn't realize that we were going to get caught, because they were going to come to the house and think that somebody was getting murdered and couldn't answer the phone or something like that. So they come to the house, they're knocking and knocking. Now, we have beware of dog signs all over the house. I mean, you had to, right? And the guy just walked right in. I guess said nobody came to the door, so he walked right in. And our dog, like, leaped in the air going for, like, his throat, because the dog was very protective over the household, and that's why I hate when I miss symbols. And that's why we kind of had the dog, because he was protective over us kids. And, yeah, we got our asses beat for that, for sure. We definitely didn't think that that was going to be the case. We thought it was just going to be hee ha ha. Let's prank call them and hang up. Yeah, no. There's been a few times, I gotta definitely hand it to me. Oh, Jenny, you're in Alabama. That's nice. I think they're in Florence. They're in Florence, Alabama. I agree, Gina. I agree. Yeah. Yep. I would be better if I ever talked to my parents that way. One, I agree. I definitely knew better. I knew better. I said that to us when my dad passed. She wanted to do anything, so my mom stepped up. Yeah. Unfortunately, when mom died, I kind of had to do everything. Now, my stepmom, thank goodness for her, because we had to do a GoFundMe, because again, nobody had any cash for something like that. We didn't know. That was just a random phone call, like, hey, you know, your she's gone, you know. And thankfully, my sister's father at the time still had the same cell phone number as many years ago, because my mom had a primary care physician, and I guess she had emergency contacts on there, and you know, all of our numbers had changed, so that's actually where I got the phone call from, was my sister's father. And it wasn't like, oh, your mom passed. He called and was like, yeah, she's gone, she's dead. And I'm like, who, what? And I fell to my knees and I screamed for like an hour, and it was terrible. I lived in a whole nother state. Got fired from my job because I had to take off to plan everything. It was terrible. Yep, even a bare hand, yep. I think those might have been the worst, to be honest. Whew. It's sad parents allow their kids to disrespect. I wish my kid would be called caffeinated doula. I agree. if I had kiddos, yeah, that would not fly. Mm-mm. No. Exactly. Right. There definitely, there's definitely parents out there that, like I said with the school thing, that's kind of how she felt. She's like, every time I would complain to the mom or the dad or whoever the guardian was, they'd be like, oh, not my kid, not my kid. And it's like, well, yeah, your kid. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you for no reason. Your child told me to go fuck myself, or whatever it is that they said. Sometimes it's just like, because see, this is the thing though. They definitely play a good game, because a lot of the kids that act like that outside don't dare to do that at home. So it's like they're super, super well behaved at home, but they're not so well behaved at school or, wherever else they may have to be. And that's the reality of it. I just know that it's almost like I said, it's like a dream. It's like I woke up from a horrible dream and then realized that it was reality, because she was never like that. Never. I mean, she was the sweetest, most caring, most attentive little child that I have ever met in my entire life. And she wasn't into like the stuff she's into now. Like, she's cakes her face with this real dark black eyeliner and black shadow, and I mean, hey, if that's what you like, wonderful. I just wish you were a little bit older to be wearing that much makeup on your face, because this is a reality too. When you walk outside and you look grown, people are gonna treat you like you're grown. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna treat you like you're grown. So, hey, what happens when most of the time you got some skis-ball dude walking down the street and he sees something that he likes? He's gonna turn around and say something to you. What happens when you turn around and say, hey, I'm 14, or hey, I'm 13, and this guy's like 20-something, 30-something? So, I just, like I said, I guess in her mind, I'm the annoying, antagonizing sister who just wants to ruin her life and not let her have any fun. And like I had said, I don't ever see you. How about, we'll pay for your plane tickets. Why don't you come out here for the summer? She goes, oh, I have plans. And I guess, I don't know, something about she wanted to get a job or something. And I was like, well, that's nice, and then, hey, by all means. But then my husband had come up with an idea. Well, if you want a job, we'll give you a job. You come out here, and he said, I'll pay you whatever the minimum wage is down there. So you tell me whatever it is that they offered you, right? And I will pay you by the hour every day for however many hours you want to work to take care of the house. So you clean the house, you take care of the dogs, you take care of the cats, you walk them, you feed, anything that needs to be done, you do. And I will pay you the exact same amount that they would have paid you, but you can do it from where you reside at for the time. I don't know, I'll ask him. Caffeinated, can I go work for you? Yeah, see, Gina, that's the thing, is that I care about her a lot, and it breaks my heart, it really does, that there's nothing, my hands are tied. Like I said, prior to him kind of just taking her and leaving, things weren't like that. She was a lot more respectful and like I said, attentive, and she wanted to interact, and she wanted to play, and she was a happy child. Now it's like everything is dark, and, the entire time, she's saying that she wants to diamond paint. Now, she's never done it before, and I'm obviously obsessed with it. So I'm like, well, I got all these diamond paintings I know that I'll never get to. I'll never get to them. I'll never do them. I'll probably end up giving them away anyway, right? And I'm like, well, why don't you come and sit down and I'll teach you how to do it? Yeah. Yeah, right? And, yeah, that never happened. And then she's like, oh, I want to play the Switch because, since I do have stepchildren, we have like a PS5 and we got Switches and a PS4 and all types of video games that we never touch. They just sit there collecting dust. So she had mentioned that she wanted to play the game. So we're like, all right, well, hey, let's all get in there and play together. You know what I'm saying? We'll spend some time together, hang out. My husband even bought, she's like, I want Domino's. It has to be Domino's pizza. So he bought Domino's pizza for the night. What happened? She had her face on the phone the entire time to where I had to yell at her and be like, look, we did not just spend $40 on this dinner that we were not in the mood for you to have your face on the phone the entire time. That it's sitting here getting cold. Call him back or do whatever you're doing later after you eat your meal, and then you can do that. Usually I'm good at cleaning the house too, but maybe he thinks differently. I don't know. Maybe he thinks differently. I know, shit. After the stress of her being here, I didn't want to do anything. Nothing at all. I didn't want to clean. I didn't want to cook. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to nothing. I wanted to sleep because it like ruined everything for me. I thought it was going to be so different, and it just wasn't. Like, I was expecting it to be like this wonderful, like, bonding experience, and it wasn't that. And it bothered me, and it kind of bummed me out to the point where I wanted to do nothing. And I was also exhausted from having to do all these special things and buy these special things because she just wouldn't do it. Oh, Diamond Queen 2020, thanks for the follow. I didn't even see that. Did the alert even come up? And Marianne 63, thank you for the follow. Mama Misha, I think that's how you say it. Thank you for the follow. Shell Anderson, thank you for the follow. Queen Butterfly Fairy, thank you for the follow. I'm just seeing it on the little activity feed. I guess I didn't hear the thing going off. I am so sorry. She sounds like her age minus the makeup. You sound like an older You're right. See, I don't even really mind the makeup part. Like, it looks cute, I mean, we were all kids at one time, and I know none of us were angels, you know what I mean? But I know that we were, that generation, the older generation, was a whole lot better than today, because today, unless you are like a stern parent, like, some of you guys say, like, yeah, no, that shit ain't happening with my kids. Today's generation is just very, very different, and some of the parents seem like clueless. You know what I'm saying? They seem clueless. Like, oh, no, not my kid would never. And it's like, but yeah, this is the reality. Like, the other day, now this is so sad, the other day, we saw a whole bunch of cops outside the window. Normally, we never see that. I mean, the block that we live on, like, not too many doors down, the mayor lives down on this block, like, there's a bunch of police officers that live on this block, there's a lot of old folk homes that are on this block, so there's a lot of, patrolling all during the night, just to make sure that nobody's doing no stupid shit, you know what I mean? And it definitely shows in the price of the rent, because obviously you're safe. But the other day, we were so stunned, and it was so sad, because again, I don't understand what's going on in these kids these days' heads. Obviously, we found it out on the news, but we saw the cops. We definitely seen it. We didn't see what happened. We saw it later on. Well, I guess two boys were fighting over a girl. Two young boys at that. I think the boy was like 13 or 14 years old. The other boy shot him and killed him. Killed him. 14 over a girl. Yeah. Right up the street from the house. Because the girl, I guess, was being a little hot tail and was doing something with both of them. And the other boy found out. And the other little boy didn't want no problems and was trying to run or something, run away from him. And he shot him right in the back and killed him. That little boy didn't even get the chance to even get a taste of life at that age. It's sad. It really is. It's sad. Yes, I agree. Marianne, I agree. It's very sad. Very, very sad. And it's like, I just don't want her to get into, I had bad habits as a kid, I have things that I'm not too proud of that I made the decision to do, and I feel like an ass today because I'm an adult, and I would never make that decision now. But if you don't learn from those mistakes, they're for nothing. They're for no reason. If you learn from them, then just say, you know what, shit, at least I got a lesson out of it. You know what I'm saying? At least I got a lesson out of it. I know I'll never do that again. But it seems like they don't even get lessons out of it these days. Yeah, exactly, Gina. They don't. They don't. Yep. Gone. There 1 minute, gone the next. Over something so ridiculous. I am 100% positive that would have not been the first person that them boys talked to. You know what I'm saying? And it's nuts. Exactly. Yep. You're going to jail for the rest of your life now. It doesn't matter if you're a minor. That's okay. You're going to be charged as an adult now because you just committed murder. So there ain't no, you don't get no, it's different if it's like a misdemeanor or something like that. But if it's something serious like killing someone else, you definitely are being charged as 100% an adult. You will definitely be put with all the adults. They don't play that. You want to act like an adult and do things, that you shouldn't be doing, then we'll treat you like one. And that's, 100% accurate. One's life is gone, and the other one is completely ruined. You'll never have a life. You will never see the day of light again, and all over somebody you probably would have only talked to for a month and been on to, somebody that you may have found better for you. And like I said, that brings me back to being nervous about, like, this boy. I don't know you. I'm sorry. She's all excited because it's her first boyfriend and this and that. I don't know you, and I don't want to get to know you. I don't. Because the moment that I heard you call my sister a bitch and tell her something as serious as that, and when she's already struggling with mental illness and she's already gone through shit, I don't want to know you. I don't want to know nothing about it. Don't even say hi to me. Don't. Because you're going to get your feelings hurt, little boy. And then, again, this brings me back to, if I get nasty for you definitely not joking, that's not funny. I get the ass can of it because it's like, he broke up with me because of you. Because you were mean. You were mean to him. Yeah. Sorry, honey. I am not a kid. And when you get grown, like me, you will look back on this moment and thank me for it. what is everybody working on at the moment? Anything interesting? Like I said in the beginning of this live, I'm over this canvas. I can't. I can't. It is like, I was working on this a while back. I think I was actually in your live, Miss Coffee, and I showed it to you on the Discord, and you were like, what the hell is that gremlin in the background or something? It's like a kid laying on a bed, and there's like little monsters and stuff hidden. So as you go, I think it's really cool that you start seeing all of the cool like creatures that you didn't see before. And when I put it in the Discord, Miss Coffee was like, what the hell is this creepy ass gremlin creeping on that little kid sleeping there? Okay, so you're getting ready to have a finish. Oh, Jenny, that sounds so fun. That sounds super fun. You're drawing. I'm working on brief. Where's that one from, Diamond Queen? Is that one from DAC or from a different company? I don't think I've... Brave Soldier. I think it is. Diamond Art Club, right? Yeah, I thought so. I thought I had seen something similar to that name, if not that exact name. This one is called Night Garden. So when it's all said and done, this is what it'll look like. Hold on. Let me find the lid, wherever it is that I threw it. Oh, here it is. Alright. So when it's finished, oh, okay, you just started yours. So you got some time to go there. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I don't know if that's... Let's come down some. Here, let's come here. See it? So it's got the kid here, it's got like a fairy, a bunny, the little troll, like some weird fairy with another little troll, little like Cupid angel, butterflies, a little bird in there, there's a frog, and a bunch of flowers. Oh, Jenny, what's wrong? What was wrong? I'm glad that you feel better. Like I said, I had a pretty shit week too, to be honest. I didn't have the best week. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, very kind. I thought it was just absolutely stunning. I mean, it was pretty pricey. I think it came out to like $105 with shipping and all that stuff. And then, like I said, it just bothered me that I paid a pretty penny for it and all of those trash drills, and then I'm like, okay, well, that's okay if if they're different. I will just make that determination if I feel as though they're too off. And she was like, yeah, no, we can't do it. I'll send you a couple out of my stash, and then ended up giving me like, I don't know, like a $30 refund or something like that. So I'm just pretty much at this point, I'm crossing my fingers and I'm praying that that I have enough. If not, I'm gonna have to put it back up again to source the drills. And here's the other issue. It seems like wherever Distracted by Diamonds is getting their stuff from, it doesn't match any of the other companies' colors. So I'm nervous if I just go to any company and I don't physically see the drill in my hand and see it to see if it'll match properly, that it's going to get here and they're not going to match. So that's the sucky part about that. Hi, kitty cat. No problem. Yeah, Jenny. She was like, I don't know what the hell that is. It's like pretty and has like some sort of like weirdness to it as well. That's why I loved it so much. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the feeling. Ooh, I hate when I get stomach aches because when I get sometimes I have issues with colitis, and my colon will get like really inflamed, and it almost feels like somebody's basically like squeezing the inside of my stomach, right, and then lighting it on fire. Like, it's the worst, and it makes me feel like I gotta throw up. It's bad. It is the worst feeling in the world. It really is. And I'm glad you feel better, because that's tummy aches and tummy issues are not fun. I still need hip support before I can stream again. I might try to do a crochet with it. Oh, I'm looking forward to that, kitty cat. I really am. Oh, thank you. I didn't even know that was even up there. My husband has been coming across like a bunch of different ones, and anytime he goes into a store that has these like graphic Bics, he always picks me up one. So the other day he comes in the house and he's like, "Babe, I got you another lighter, and I'm like, "Yay!" Like, I love when he grabs me lighters, and he gives me a Capricorn. I'm like, "Honey, I ain't no Capricorn." I was like, "It's a nice lighter, but I'm not a Capricorn." We're both Sagittarius, both me and my husband. And he's like, "I totally didn't even realize that it was a sign lighter. I just saw the lady on the front, and I thought that it reminded me of you, and I thought that you would like it and think it was pretty." And I was like, "I do think it's pretty. Thank you anyway." So it was cute. It was a cute gesture. I'm literally ordering from a new company because I haven't gotten confirmation of shipping from the Yeah. I'm kind of leery for the same reasons. I'm nervous because it's like, I'm also nervous about like it either being like a scam, or like I'm weird with stuff like that, or I'm nervous about it being like a really shit render. Like I think Miss Coffee was talking about like the skin colors, and I had gotten this one diamond painting that was absolutely like very heartfelt. It was actually an image of my husband and I, and we were on vacation, and my godmother had gotten it for me to do, and oh my god, I started to do my husband's face first. Now my husband is he's mixed, so he is Italian, Puerto Rican, African American. He's got a lot of stuff in him. I said Native American, and I think he's one other thing. I can't really put my finger on it, but so his skin tone is like very, very light brown, right? And I started doing his face first, and all of a sudden it was like purple. I was like, "Oh no, that is not his skin tone. He is not purple." And I stopped doing it. I contacted the company. I got really upset about it. I was like, you guys got his skin tone completely off. This diamond painting cost my godmother like $90. This is terrible. Like, I started going like to town on this company, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We'll send you a new one." So I'm like, okay, maybe it can be fixed, right? So they send the new one, and it's the same flippin' thing. The same thing. His skin tone was really, really purple instead of like a nice light brown. And my skin tone was like a real, real bright orange instead of my skin tone. Like, it was just bad. It was bad. So I get nervous with stuff like that, especially because I'm into like the big-eyed girls. I love the big-eyed girls. Those are like my favorite to do. And skin tones are a really big thing, and I think the company that really has that spot on has to be Diamond Art Club. Like, they just blow me out the park every time. It's like Christmas. Every time I receive a canvas and I open it. And I look at it and I just enjoy the artwork and how much work and how much, what's the word I could use? Like you could see that they put good money into their stuff. Like they don't just buy their supplies from anywhere to make it cheaper. You know what I'm saying? They actually take the time to make sure that it's the absolute best that it can be. And that's what I love about Diamond Art Club. Like I said, craftably, real good too. I have no complaints with the company. None at all. The one thing that is kind of like, not a complaint, just not too fond of. I think that they should have a better array of stuff. When I go on the website, it's like, they don't have new stuff that comes out. Like Diamond Art Club's always got stuff coming out that's new. So, you always got something new to do. Always got something new to buy, something new to look at. And it's like, with Craftably, that's the only thing, is that they have some really great stuff, great quality and everything, great prices, but they just don't have enough of an array for me. Right, Gina, I agree. I definitely would rather the quality to be there, because as I said, it's not a cheap hobby. It's not. Most hobbies are not. Most hobbies are freaking expensive. Great to do. Love them. But they're expensive. And diamond painting is definitely one of those really expensive ones where, I want to make sure that the quality is there. If I spend all this money on these canvases, I want to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth. And if I don't, I just won't deal with the company. And see, this is the problem here. I was on like a binge buy from Distracted by Diamonds for like 3 months. Just buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying, right? And I was obsessed with their wax. I don't use it anymore. It just sits in my corner because I make my own putty and I use that. It's just way more cost efficient. It's just and I can make any scent that I can think of. I don't have to take the scraps of the website because everybody done got the good stuff already. So I just binge bought, boom, 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 all these canvases, right? Boom, 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 thousands of dollars in canvases, right? Before I even touched a canvas to see if I liked the company first. I done heard all the hype about the company, and I didn't try for myself. People are different. Certain people like certain things, other people don't. My fault. So now I have a bunch of canvases from the company sitting in my closet that I'm afraid to even touch, because every last one that I've done, I've had the same issue. The drills are not that great. Stick is okay. Stick is great. I mean, certain parts were a little funny, but not bad. But the drills are the main issue that I'm having. Jersey Girl, he is December the 4th. Oh, see, I didn't know. Caffeinated Doodler, what are they recovering from? I didn't know that they were recovering from anything. The hobby stopped being cheap when I bought my first DC. Yep. I agree, Jenny. That was the thing for me, is I started off with a very small unicorn that I had seen on Amazon. The craft was actually brought up to me by my godmother because it was meant to be something for me and my husband to do together to bond, because we were looking for things to do together, right? And she's like, oh, I came across this craft that I think you guys might like. And I mean, once I saw it, I was like, yeah, buy me this and get me that, and I'll get this and that and this and that. All these things that I didn't need, but I wanted it because it was there to buy, right? To this day, I don't even use any of that stuff. Go figure. But, so I got this one canvas. It's a beautiful, I still have it to this day. And I had no idea about the community built behind it. I had no idea about these bigger companies that are more expensive. I thought it was just one of those things that you would see, you know, like a paint by number that you'd find on Amazon or something like that, right? Boy, was I wrong. The first person that I've ever come across was Rachel Ray. My godmother came to me and she said, oh, there's this lady on YouTube that does the diamond painting stuff. So I go check her out. She's great, wonderful. I probably have bought in 90% of my storage, my canvases, all of that stuff, because she's the one that said this is good stuff. Literally. Okay, kitty cat. But yeah, so that was the first person that I had ever come across, right? And that's when I learned about Diamond Art Club and big light boards and all the different storages. So the Elizabeth Wards and the Lockables and the Harbor Freights, and you can get pens like this instead of, you know, the ones that come in the kits. And I knew nothing about any of that until I found the wonderful community built behind it. And then once I had come across Rachel Ray, that's when I had come across Mrs. Coffee. And I've been watching her videos ever since on YouTube, and pretty much just following with her and with Rachel Ray. And that's how I got into it. Ooh, I did not know that. Miss Coffee, I did not know that. Oof. I know when I ordered my stuff from them Black Friday, it took forever. I ordered 2 kits. Oh, wait, hold on. July 1st. So what's your sign, Jenny? I'm not sure. Oh, you guys are close. July 3rd and July 1st. Very close together. 2 kits off Amazon, and halfway through the first, I was buying all this stuff. Yeah, that's normally how it goes, Jenny. That's normally how it goes. You just start buying. Buy. Until you realize I just completely cleared out my whole bank account. That's exactly what happened with me. Yep. I started watching YouTube, and it was it from that point. I found the community built behind it, and I started getting into, you know, into depth. It was great. It was absolutely wonderful. I've never in my life met such wonderful people. Oh, wow. Gina, wow. Okay. I have so many hobby stores. I never go to any of them. Share. Absolutely, kitty cat. Yeah, we all know how the munchkin is. Aries. Okay, my cousin is an Aries, so I'm a little familiar, a little bit. Cancer. I don't think I have any cancers in the family. I have to check. I don't think so, though. I started binge watching and a few others. I was reluctant to buy DAC because I was looking at... Yeah. Thank you. Seriously, though, because it's like, I started watching the 2 of you guys, and the rest was history from that point. Same here. So most of my budget stuff I either give away or it just sits. Oh, your daughter introduced you to it. Yeah, I must say that Diamond Art Club definitely has most people who I think a lot of us feel that way. They have such a big array, more than the majority. Um, their rendering is just wonderful. Like, they really take their time, and like I said, it's the quality that I'm worried about. It's not even the price. I would rather spend good money to get something good, because in this world, we all know you get what you pay for. Doesn't matter what it is, you always will get what you pay for. Rather than going to like Amazon or Wish or something like that, you're not gonna get the best quality with a canvas that ain't really that expensive, as opposed to something that's a decent, penny. Oh, one, my dad was a Leo. I'm very familiar with the Leos. Okay, kitty cat. So little man won't be the only. Uh-oh. Who's having a baby? I apologize in advance if you guys can hear the puppy in the background. That's another lovely story. So I am a foster. It's 100% like of my own free will. Like, they don't pay you or anything like that. And we were supposed to just foster. We got a 8-week-old Rottweiler. She's absolutely stunning. She's a brat, but she's wonderful, and we love her very, very much. From what the shelter told us, it's supposedly called a foster fail. And the first night we got her, she came in the house, and she got along with the kittens and the other dogs that we have, and she just bonded with our family really, really well. And I called them the next day. I said, well, you could take her off the website because she has a home. So initially we were supposed to go finish the adoption today, but I didn't really have the time to they had to do another procedure real fast and give her a shot. I didn't really have the time for it, so I rescheduled to next Friday. So we'll be taking care of that. And when she's left alone, she's not alone, I'm in here, but her dad left, and she started freaking out. So that's what that was in the background. Okay, let's catch up real fast. Oh, that's awesome, kitty cat. Congratulations. I love babies. Buy off Amazon all the time, but do have them. See, this is the thing, Marianne, is that I have definitely seen a lot of really good canvases on Amazon that people have said are great. I'm so afraid because of the one incident that I had with the skin tone rendering. I'm nervous with it. Funny thing is, after a couple of months, I went to Hobby Lobby and they had some AC kits on clearance. I had to talk myself into this. Wow. Now you spend a whole lot more than $14.99. My mama was an Aquarius, so I'm very, very familiar with both Leo and Aquarius. Yeah. Yep. Wow. Yeah, I love labs. I think they're so gorgeous. My husband and I are big fans of bigger dogs. We had a smaller dog for quite a few years that we actually just recently rehomed. It broke our hearts to do it, but unfortunately, it was down to not being like about us and being selfish with wanting to keep him. We have two 1 year and 3-week-old Staffordshire Terriers, so pit bulls. And we've had them since they were about 8 weeks old. They were also rescues, and they love to play. Absolutely love to play, and they're very rambunctious and jumpy. And the small dog we had was a miniature pinscher, His name is Sully, and he wasn't having it. He was older. He was an older dog, and he just didn't like the other dogs. So he would nip at them a lot, and he didn't, he'd run away from them. He was kind of afraid of them, in a sense. So it got to the point where we were nervous that, he might get hurt, or he might hurt one of them. He wasn't fans of the kittens, and Mama Kitty wasn't a fan of him. So we rehomed him to a really nice family in Staten Island, New York, who has children in the house. They're a little bit older, but they're still children, and they have a min pin as well, but it's a female, and she's brown. So they've sent me images. He seems like he's doing better, and he's happy, and it still hurts, but it kind of came down to what's best for the pup in a difference as, what we wanted. So both me and one of my sisters were born in July. Really, kitty cat? Or the 13 moves over. Wow. She's a Cancer. You are a Leo. I'm a Scorpio. My fiance is a Taurus. Evil Mad Kitty, hello. I didn't even see it chatting there. I'm not familiar with either Scorpio or Taurus either. My husband and I are both Sages, both at the end of the months. Well, I'm at the end. We're both at the end of the sign, I should say. I'm at the end of November the 25th, and he's December the 4th. Marianne, absolutely. Have a great night and get some wonderful, wonderful sleep. Thank you so much for coming in and chit-chatting. My birthday was in Chanel. I was born on his birthday and almost the exact time, too. I was born 3 minutes before. Wow, kitty cat. That's interesting. Ooh, Diamond Queen. Are you the beginning of the sign or the end? And like I said with Aquarius, I'm very familiar with Aquarius. That was my mama's sign. I mean, a lot of people feel like, I know when my husband and I first got together, there was a lot of people that either knew me or knew him, and they were like, you guys are definitely not gonna make it, like, because we're the same sign, and, they say that, you kind of need, like, a different sign to balance one another out, and I mean, there's definitely their ups and the downs of it. Like, we are identical. Our attitudes are the same. What ticks me ticks him. So it can definitely be a challenge at times, but it's also wonderful. It's the absolute most wonderful relationship that I've ever been in, because we love the same exact things. Literally, the only difference is that he was born a man and I was born a woman. That's the only difference. We're the same shoe size, the same ring size, the same sign. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we have that are very, very similar. Really? On November the 25th. My mother was February the 1st. I'm a Gemini. I don't know much about Gemini either, to be honest. May the 26th. Okay, Juan, thank you for coming in. Have a wonderful night. Get some wonderful rest. Thank you so much for coming in and chit-chatting. I'm listening to you. He's screaming a song. Okay, kitty cat. I'll be here for a bit longer. I'm trying to push through and get a little bit more work done. Oh, so the main story that had me pretty agitated, right, was when my sister was here, I think this is kind of what threw me, like, off the edge of not wanting to, like, do much. One, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that all of you do. It means the absolute world to me. As I said, I don't think I've ever met any people more supportive than the crafting community. But I think, I was thirsty. I think what threw me off the edge was, in my state, I live in New Jersey. So in my state, they ban plastic products. And that means, straws, bags, like they don't do plastic bags anymore. You buy like reusable bags, right? And normally I know that when I leave the house to go grocery shopping or go to a store, I know better than to leave the house without my bags, right? Oh, there's one Y left missing here. And I figured, like, okay, well, it's ShopRite. ShopRite is a big company, right? Jersey girl, I figured. By the name, I figured. Do you live, like north, south, central? I live in central. Ocean County. Okay, so that's south, right? I would assume. Down, like by like the beach and stuff. I'm not 100% certain. I've never even heard of it, but I'm just taking it by the name. But I think what threw me off the edge with the whole sister visiting thing, right? Sure, right. I figured. Was, I had to go buy all these specific things because she eats funny. Like, she wants Elio's pizza and ramen noodles and pasta, but with only butter and garlic and no sauce, and chicken nuggets, but they have to be the dino-shaped chicken nuggets, because if they're not, she doesn't like them. They taste different. They taste funny. I don't know. Things that I don't normally have in the house, right? So that was agitating. But not as agitating as how bad it gets. So we take a cab up there, and she starts throwing things in the cart. Like, usually when I go into a store, I want to count what I'm putting. I start putting it in the calculator so that when I get up there, I know what I'm looking at price-wise, right? I'm trying to stay in a budget here. And she starts throwing all this stuff in the cart, and I'm like, okay, cool, she never comes, whatever. I'm letting it happen. We get a whole cart, like a whole ass cart, probably like $700 worth of food, right? Now, I had to go grocery shopping really anyways, so it didn't really matter to me. Well, we got this whole big cart, get up there, get ready to bring everything up and all that, good to go, right? I'm like, okay, let me get, I'm thinking for a second, let me get like 8 bags, right? That should be enough, and if I need any more, then I'll buy more, right? This lady turns around and looks at me and goes, oh, we're all out. I'm like, what? Excuse me? Did you say you don't have no bags? And I got like a cart that could feed a damn army for a month? And the lady's like, yeah, ma'am, I'm sorry, we don't have no more bags. And I'm like, okay, well, guess we ain't bringing any of this home, because I'm in a cab, number one, with my little sister. My husband's at work. Normally he would help me with that. We would just throw it in the damn car and then have to just deal with it when we get home. But he's not there, right? I had to leave this cart filled with groceries. I had to just leave it. What am I going to do? There's this whole line behind me. I'm like, I say to the lady, I'm like, hey, well, do you want me to, like, put the stuff back? Like, I can totally do that. Like, there's nothing I can do because I don't have no bags. Like, I'm in a cab, too. Like, I can't. There's no way that I'm carrying all that stuff up singularly in no bags up of 3 flights of stairs and out of a cab. There's no way this is happening. right? And she's like, oh, no, it's all right. At least I was nice enough to put, like, the frozen stuff back, like the nuggets and ice cream, all this stuff that I know, if it's going to sit there, it's going to sit there for a while, because it looked like they were so damn packed, nobody could even move. So I put all that stuff back, and I had to leave this whole cart of food at the grocery store. I couldn't even get food. Couldn't even get the food. I had to freaking go to another store the next day just to get the rest of the stuff. Because that day I was like, all right, well, we could take the Oreos that you want. We could take the creamer. We could take the noodles. You know, little stuff like that. But there's no way that I can take 6 packs of chicken breast, 3 cans of coffee, ice cream, veggies, pasta sides, right, all this stuff that I had. There was absolutely 100% zero way for me to make that work. What do you do at that point? I have no help. I don't have my husband's help. Normally he's the strong one that could freaking carry like 30 bags in both of his arms. You know what I mean? He's not there. I got my sister. She's got her face glued to her phone, and she's just picking up all this stuff, throwing it in the cart. Boof. Not even looking at prices. Like, okay, well, you can get the same exact candy just in a smaller size. You ain't gonna eat it all anyway for like half the price. Nope. I'm gonna just throw the one that's triple the price in the cart. Not a problem. Sure, why not? Oh yeah, I can get the Oreos that are the same exact thing, except they don't have a print on them, for like $4 less, but I'll just get the one with the print, even though that doesn't matter. Like, it was just bad. Like, it was a really bad experience. Then we walk over. They have a Five Below now up in the shopping center that I grew up in. And I never knew that, because I haven't been up in that shopping center since I was a kid. I no longer live, I still live in the same county, I just don't live in that town anymore. I live in a different township. Not too far away, but not too close, And I saw the Five Below, and we get there, we're looking around. I got her and I like a little matching keychain so that she could take it back home with her, and I have the other half. Then I got one for me and the hubby, and a couple other little things. And then I had found like a gamer set. It's a keyboard, a mouse, a headset, a mouse pad. So I definitely had to get that, because I was literally going to get the same set by Amazon, but they wanted like $30 more than what Five Below wanted. So I definitely snatched that up. And after just experiencing that, right, we get up to the checkout. And I'm like, all right, yeah, we should only need like 1 bag for this stuff, maybe 2. You know what they look at me and say? Sorry, ma'am, we have none. We ran out. At this point, I'm so over it. I'm over it. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm going home. Like, this is so annoying. I should have just brought my freaking bags myself. But I'm rushing out the door because she wants to hurry up and get to the store. Then we get home. She looks at me and she goes, oh, can we go to Target tomorrow? I'm like, no, I'm not going to no more stores. Listen, chica, I don't even leave the house. I am 100% a house hermit. I don't do this. This is not what I do. The only time I leave this house is when I need to go grocery shopping, when I need to walk my dogs. I don't go and shop when it's the freaking middle of the month and I've got all these bills I gotta pay. Listen, I'm an adult. When you become an adult, you will understand what I mean. Okay? I'm not going and blowing all this damn money. I said, what is it that you need? You need something from Target? Is it something you need? Because if you need something, then I will take you. Not a problem. Oh, no, I just want to look around. I just want to smell the candles and read some of the introductions to some books. Because, sissy, I really love books. And I'm just like, that's great. I'm glad that you like to read books, sweetheart. But listen, it seems like nobody ain't got no damn bags. I'm agitated already. Let me call this cab and we're going home. I'm not taking you to a darn Target to walk around in this Target and spend who knows how much. It's like a bougie Walmart, and you ain't even got nothing you need. You don't even know what you're going for. You have no idea. No clue. None whatsoever. So, we definitely didn't go to Target. We just kind of hung out at the house. And, I was going to bring her up on live to kind of meet all of my fabulous people up here. And, I thought maybe, some people up here are parents. Most people are parents. Some are not. But most, if not all, I hope all, because it's definitely 18 plus. I don't watch my mouth. Mostly everybody is adults. And I figured, alright, I'm going to diamond paint for a little while. I gave her little diamond painting. And I thought to myself, this may be good for her, because if I start conversating about the shit that's going on, maybe she'll start to see some people, you know what I'm saying? Like, conversating like how we did tonight, like, oh, that might not be the best thing, those are red flags, and maybe it would get to her, but at this point, I finally get her in here, and I'm setting up the stream. Now, most of us who stream know it's 100% wholehearted, a pain in the tush. It is not what a person that doesn't stream think it is. You don't just hop up here, go on camera, and say, boom, this is it. There is so much tutorials that I had to watch to figure out what to do that it's crazy. And I finally got it up and going, and I'm like, all right, we'll go up. My sound stopped working. So there was no sound. Then the sound was cutting in and out. Then it was messing up. Then it was echoing. So that was a pain. So I think the whole, like, spending time with her thing kind of got, like, watered down a little, because of all the stuff that was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the crap that was going on while she was here, it was a pain. I was so pissed. She was in her rebellious phase, and I think she knows everything at this time. No one understands her. Yeah, absolutely, kitty cat. Yep. And it's funny because you sound like her standing here talking to me. Because that's what she always says. Nobody understands me. They just don't get me. And anytime I try to talk to someone, nobody listens. And it's like, honey, best believe you me, I understand. I understand big time. I've been through hell and back as a child and in most of my adult years. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Believe me. And I'm sure there's a million other people in the world that get it. And if you feel as though when you're talking to your dad, because her dad is one of those dads that's like got a chip on his shoulder, that, doesn't want to hear nothing from nobody, and he believes what he believes, and he's stuck in his ways. If you feel as though that there's something you need to tell your father, you need to set boundaries. Like, Dad, look, I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you right now, and you're blowing me off, and I don't like it. Because when stuff like that happens, when kids are going through stuff, and they go to their parents and say, I need to talk, and nobody listens, they end up doing stupid shit to themselves or to others. It's always something with yeah, absolutely, Jimmy, it is. It definitely is. It's difficult. Like, one day you can go up here, everything's perfect, everything's great, everything's good to go, and then literal next day something is wrong, and you just don't know what it is. Absolutely, Jenny, right. That's what I said before. We've all done it. We've all been there, done that. It's just minus the disrespectful stuff, and the extreme that the kids these days go through. Yeah, kitty cat. We've all gone through it. We've all gone through that stage where it's like no one listens, no one wants to hear me. Blah, blah, blah. But I think, in my opinion, she's kind of being truthful with the no one listens to her where she lives at, because, like I said, her father has it in his head that mental illness is not real. It doesn't exist. And it very much does. And anybody, again, who goes through that knows that it's very, 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 very real. And it sucks, especially if you don't have someone in your corner. Now, fun fact about me, when I met my husband, I was at my absolute worst. My mom died. My best friend, the only person I felt I could talk to and trust, didn't have much of a relationship with my dad until I got older. And I was very bad into drinking. Very, 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 very bad. Every day, the first thing I thought about when I woke up and the first thing I thought about when I went to sleep was drinking. That was my outlet. That was the only thing that would numb the pain for just a little bit so that I didn't have to think about it. It made me worse, and I didn't realize that it made me worse because the person that I was with at the time was feeding it. Was feeding that addiction. And wouldn't, even when I said I didn't want to do it anymore and it was fucking my life up, would keep feeding it. That wasn't no good for me. I met my husband said, look, listen, you're not such a nice person when you're drinking. I love you. You're a wonderful woman, but here's the deal. Either you're going to have to, work with me and we're going to get this to be a no longer, or we can't be together because I can't have that toxicity in my life. And you know what? I quit. Wholeheartedly, I quit. And he helped me through those really messed up times, feeling sick and all that crap that comes along with it. And I got lucky having someone in my corner that understood that sometimes I just needed a little extra care or a little extra affection or a little extra attention because I was going through what I was going through. And when it's a child and not an adult, us adults, sometimes we can kind of cope with certain shit that a child can't, especially if they feel like they're alone. When a child is sitting there saying, I need help, something isn't right, I feel off, I'm upset, or I feel like doing something to myself, harming myself, you don't play with that. You don't joke around. That's not, something that you just say, oh, well, that doesn't exist. So whoever told you it does, they lied to you. That's just a coax from a doctor so that they can take your money. It's not. And I think she's being very honest about why she feels that way, if you know what I mean, kitty cat, I'm not there, and you're not talking to me. So if that's the case, and you need someone to talk to, I'm a phone call away, literally. You can FaceTime me, you can give me a call, you can text me, say, hey, I need someone to talk to, and I'm all ears. Because I understand, because I go through it. Like some of the stuff these kids say to their parents, and I'm over here tensed up and ready to... Yeah, kitty cat. Mm-hmm. I totally agree. It's nuts. It really is. Like I said, I was so dumbfounded when she walked out of that bathroom and was like, well, why the fuck are you talking about me? I ain't no science project. Stop talking about my boyfriend. It's none of your business. Excuse me, what? Run that back real fast. So, like I said, and like many of you said, we've all done it. We've all been there, done that. But it's just it's what you do with those lessons that really matter, Like she come to me the other day and she's like, oh yeah, I saw now my aunt, very close aunt of mine, she dips and dabbles into, she's pagan. And she does a lot of Wicca stuff. And she's taught me a lot of it. Like I mainly just focus on the herb aspect of it. I don't really do anything else because of my religion. I'm really not supposed to be doing it at all. But I think a lot of herbs and stuff are really, really good for certain things if that's what you're looking for. And she taught me some of that stuff and what you can use and what you can burn together for peace and serenity and protection and things like that. Well, these are things that you want somebody who knows what they're doing to teach you. Because if you fuck with something that, isn't so nice and you can't fix it, you could really do some serious damage to yourself or to others. around you. And she wanted to go to a concert. Now, any real person who dips and dabbles into magic knows this. When you mess with that, you're taking from someone. So everything comes at a price. It's never free. Same thing with life. We're all told from our parents growing up, nothing in life is free. Right? It's the same thing with magic. So when you're playing around, you can take from someone that may really be in need for your own, selfish reasons. So she wanted to go to a concert, and she went online and found some sort of money spell and did the money spell. And I said to her, stop messing around with that stuff. I'm telling you, I'm very familiar with it. I've learned a lot of it, and a lot of people who do it will tell you the same thing. You're going on TikTok and all this crap on freaking line, and you're just doing what other people are telling you to do, and you don't know these people from a can of paint, and you could be opening a door that you don't know how to close. You know what I'm saying? And, that I wasn't very fond of. And when I was trying to conversate with her about that, it was like, oh, I know what I'm doing, and don't tell me what to do, and she knows life, See, my smart ass will have a cloud if you keep it up with that attitude and you become yeah. Right, kitty cat. As a parent, our job is to listen and be our care of our children. If that isn't doing that, it will hurt you. Absolutely, Jimmy. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that one. Because if mom or dad or someone, because not it, there's certain people who were raised by their grandparents, or their cousin, or, something may have happened where they were fostered or whatever it is. Their guardian, if a child does not have their guardian listening to them or leading them, they're up for disaster at that point. Because who's teaching them right from wrong? And when I try to do it, I'm wrong. I'm terrible. I'm agitating. I'm annoying, Yep. Kitty cat, I'm not Southern, but I'm 100% a city girl, and I have like the New York, Jersey attitude, and I try to not let that come out unless it's absolutely needed to. I'm a sweet person. I love meeting new people. I love, helping people out if I can by any means. I'm not a nasty person. But, when it comes to like a situation where someone is not being so nice, sometimes that's what happens. Some people just bring out the ugly in others, And I think that's a lot of what was going on before I met my husband now. Is that, a lot of the people that, in my life, in my past, whether it be friends or someone I talked to or family, they brought out the really ugly side of me, and they just were not good for they weren't good for my overall health. Whether it be my mental health or my physical health, they weren't no good. Fly down there and we can address her attitude. Like, she doesn't seem to realize she's an adult now. I've waited years for this. Yeah. Absolutely. Miss Coffee, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes they could be even worse. And see, this is, I don't talk to much of my family, so literally my husband, my animals, my stepchildren, and really all of my friends, here when I go live, those are like really my family. Those are the people that I talk to and the people that I trust, and because a lot of my family, they have like this weird vendetta against my husband because my husband wants the best for me, and my husband does not allow anyone to talk to me in a shitty manner. And my family feels like, oh well, we are her family. You are not you can't tell us what to do with her. She's our family. And bullshit, I'm his wife. He can tell you guys to do whatever the hell he wants because I give him the permission to, you know? And they don't like that so much. So, you know, my little brother, he's got a nasty little damn mouth. And, sorry, I had to plug up my computer. He's got a little nasty mouth on him too. He's grown though, very much so. He's 23 now, and we were having a conversation over the phone. This was a while ago. Me and my husband were on vacation, and we love to go to like different scene hotels. So it's basically like a jacuzzi with like a hot tub, and like the jacuzzi is shaped like a martini glass or something. Or it looks like a beach scene or something like that. And we were there, and my brother was like, oh, you know, I'd like to take my girl. And this particular type of hotel, you know, you got to plan this very, 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 you know, in advance, because the rooms go so fast. And I'm like, well, you know, I talked to the owner because we knew the owners. We stayed there so much. And they had one room that was available that they hadn't put on the website that they were willing to give to my brother and his girlfriend for the rest of the night. And I'm talking to him, I'm telling him, like, you know, we know the owners, they said that they'll do it for you guys, you know, but they're going to charge you an extra $50 because they make money off of that room all night. So they make money off that room all night, letting people come in for, like, you know, shorter stays. And they're going to charge you the extra $50. And he's like, you know, had a whole argument with his girlfriend because she's like, I want to do it. And he's like, I don't think it's worth it. I got to work in the morning, whatever. And I was like, well, you know, you gotta let me know what you want to do, because if not, the first person is first come, first serve. And my brother turns around and goes, well, why don't you just shut the fuck up and listen a minute? And he was on speakerphone. And my husband heard it. My husband is very, very old school. He is quite a few years older than me. So he's very, very, very old-fashioned. He does not play that. He is 100% like, you speak to women with absolute respect, and that's the bottom line. I don't care what the situation is. So, my husband got very, very hot-headed, because he can be that way. Sweetest man in the world, but not so much when you piss him off. Just like anybody else. So, my husband grabs the phone and goes, listen, David, which is my brother's name, do me a favor and do not talk to my wife that way. I totally understand that you guys are siblings, but I would appreciate it if you spoke to my wife with the respect that she deserves. Well, my brother did not like that very much. My brother turned around and was like, oh, yeah, I don't know you, dude. They never really had the chance to really get to know one another. And my husband got pissed. He said, excuse me? You know, like, you're a child to me. And I'm just telling you, I don't care what you and your sister or anybody else goes through. That's my wife, and she deserves respect. So ever since that point of that conversation, you know, people have this crazy vendetta against my husband because they're like, oh, well, he shouldn't get involved in family issues and blah, blah, blah. No, he has by all means right to tell you not to speak to your sister that way, and I give him that right. He is my husband. So if I'm giving him that right to get in my business, because my business is his business, right, how dare he? That's exactly what I said. How dare he tell anybody that his wife needs to be respected. So now this sister's husband tried something like that with me. I called my baby sister's phone and asked why my other sister answered when he had heard it on the phone. We got to talking, and he wanted to state his opinion, and I expressed my opinion, and he tried to tell my sister to hang up on this. Well, that's a big difference. That's just plain rude, number one. This was more like a, you know, my brother was being extremely rude and like cursing and screaming at me, and before I got with my husband, I allowed my family to run all over me and do that, and you know, that's what they were used to. So the fact that I don't allow that anymore, they have like this hatred towards him, because they know that he's the one that gave me my voice and gave me my backbone. Absolutely, Jenny. That's exactly what I said. We gave each other vows. I don't have to, answer to you, just as he doesn't have to answer to you either. You guys are my family, and he is my husband. If anybody reads any book, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, whatever it is, the book that you read, it always states that your spouse is first, whether you like it or not, and I believe that, you know what I'm saying? And not for nothing. Family will always, when someone dies or, some crazy event like that happens, right? They'll always tell you, oh yeah, please don't hesitate to call me if you ever need anything. But when you make that phone call and you get up the nerve in the guts to, you got a knot in your stomach, like, oh, I don't want to ask anybody for any help. If you're like a person like me, I don't like asking people for anything. I like doing it on my own, and if I can't do it on my own, it doesn't get done. But, they'll say, oh yeah, call on me. You call on that person, and they'll tell you every story in the damn world and why they can't help you, and they'll explain it to the absolute fullest, right? Not for nothing, my husband takes care of me 24/7, all the way around. So he has any right to do anything, especially when it comes to his wife being respected. I don't see anybody else taking the time to when I'm sick and have a fever, checking my fever and making sure I got my meds and getting me soup and tea, and nobody else is doing that. So if you want to get to the, oh, well, he's not your family, we are, then that just makes you guys look like total asses. Because he's the one that's doing stuff that you guys should be doing for me. And he does it without even having to be asked to do it. Even when I ask you guys, you don't do it. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you ain't family to me. You do not tell my sister to hang up on me. Well, he treats her like this every day, and I stood up for her and myself. He didn't like it. Well, like I said, kitty cat, that is just 100% not okay. By any means, you did nothing wrong. I don't understand, why he's telling her who she can and cannot talk to. That's a boundary right there. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. I choose, just like Miss Coffee said, family could be even more toxic than a complete stranger. And that's why I cut off a lot of my family. I will block you and be done with it. See ya. You will never speak to me again. You'll never get through to my phone line. And I would rather do that and remove myself from the situation rather than keeping myself in a toxic situation and making my health worse. You know what I'm saying? And they believe in their head that, he has my phone and he doesn't let me talk to people and he tells me who I can. I stream on a daily basis. I have my phones right next to me at all times, and it's not at all like that. It's just that, respect is respect is respect. Straight up. And it's not cool that he's treating her like that, because she doesn't deserve that. Yeah, that's not cool, kitty cat. I'm sitting here laughing at Miss Coffee. My cutoff game is so strong, I stopped talking to myself. Protecting mental health at all costs. Absolutely. I totally agree. That's, you got to put yourself first when it comes to a situation where, you feel as though you may be damaging yourself more by conversating with somebody. It's probably best to no longer conversate with that person. I am just about getting ready to hop off, though. Let me see. Who can I? It doesn't seem like as many people who really need anybody. Let me check on here. Check on the phone that my husband keeps away from me, So stupid. I swear, family, I can't. Okay, let's see who's up here. Okay, we'll do Sage Beetle. That is who we'll do. He's awesome. Alright, well, I am going to hop off. I do want to thank everybody for chit-chatting with me and kind of giving me some advice with my little sister. I'm going to raid out to Sage Beetle. She's wonderful. She really is. She's a doll. She does like hang art where they do like, they put like the cross the yarn to make like a pattern. And she's wonderful. Absolutely, Miss Coffee. Thank you so much for being so supportive. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all of you so much. Really, really, I do. I'll probably be back on tomorrow, hopefully, and maybe I'll see you guys all then. Yes, of course. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Everybody have a beautiful night. Have great sleep. And whoever's got work or anything like that, I hope you have a beautiful day. Again, thank you guys so much. Bye.